right, Mike. All right. Okay. We ready, guys?
I'm ready. I am ready. Good. Got a call last night from an old friend's wife.
All right. Welcome to the Sounds Like Life podcast with the one and only Darryl Worley. This has been a long time coming. Podcast that we've talked about for a couple years now, and just kind of the ball started rolling and getting into play, and here we are. When you watch this show, you never know what you're going to see, what you're going to hear. We're going to have you've got your guitar sitting next to you, so we never know when he's going to pick it up and start picking something. You never know who a special guest is and when y'all are going to sing together, so we're kind of just setting that framework up. We're rocking and rolling, man.
We got this thing up, and we're getting elevated.
Elevated to the backstage of the Opry.
That's it.
All right, Darryl Worley, we are at the Republican National Convention. How cool is that, man?
We're in Milwaukee.
We are in Milwaukee. As you can tell, we are not in our studio, but we're in a pretty famous studio here on Music Row.
We have our own podcast studio, by the way.
Do you
I don't
really?
know if I mentioned
Man,
that.
I knew you when.
Look at him.
I knew you back when.
We are here at Bumpus Harley Davidson. We're in Union City today. At Total Tech Solutions. You know, we've had some really exciting places. We've had some neat atmospheres that we've gotten to go to the RNC, backstage at the Opry, Studio B.
Yeah.
Incredible places. But Scott Williams wins the best view here at Discovery Park.
Wow.
So this is the best
the
view.
bar high.
And so
This place is beautiful.
it's absolutely breathtaking. But man, we're back. We're actually on the set today.
Yes, I love that.
It's
This feels
fun.
like home, man.
It is. One of the things that will change, you said always moving, is the set behind us.
Yeah.
And the production team had a great idea. They said, hey, bring some stuff from Darryl, bring some of my stuff, and just let's just make it a big storytelling piece that's
Yes.
going to change and evolve throughout. And I tell you, the coolest thing on here, there's two that have stuck out to me. There's a really cool flag behind you. Can you tell me about the flag?
Yeah. So that came to me from General Dick Cody, who was, I think, a 3-star general at the time, and he and I, we were together more than one time in the different war zones, and then also at the Pentagon and different places. But he put that together for me because of our time spent in the combat zone, and wanted us to have something. Just he was doing it to honor me and for my song "Have You Forgotten," for the continuous travel into the war zone to entertain our troops. But that flag back there was flown over the Pentagon. It means the world to me, and we're very blessed to have pieces like that we can talk about on our set.
Mike's got a clip. You've not seen all this yet.
Oh boy!
Remember when we went hat shopping during CMA Fest?
I remember when you went.
Yeah. So we and this was a great one of the times. First time I got to hang out with both of them together, and just
this was fun.
This was fun, and this is just a glimpse into to our life as buddies, and we'll let that load up and play.
Had one almost identical to that. It was one of those.
I think I need this for the show.
I'm telling you, that's sharp, man.
Bolo, so show me how this hat thing works.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Travis. You're gonna have a hard time finding a hat, and I ain't choking you. Does it tell you what size? I mean, what size it is? Like,
yeah, 7 and 5/8.
That's not.
This
big
is
enough.
what we need.
It ain't. I'm telling you, neither will an 8 be big enough.
No.
Yeah,
I
can't
know,
even.
I know
No.
hats.
And I don't even know if it's not gonna
You
fit.
need
And
something
that's
that
the
comes
extra
down
large
here
one.
and gets pretty close to your ears. You don't want it right on. I mean, because
Right,
your ears
you
turn
want
out a little bit,
this- yeah.
but you want it to be down there, and that's just not wide enough to go on down on your head.
Right.
I found a hat for you.
You did?
Yeah,
She found a hat.
She
for
found a
Travis.
hat for me.
I really did.
Oh, I love it.
That's so wrong. My
Oh,
daughter.
wrong way.
Hey,
Hey, it almost
Look
fits.
at this.
did she already ask you what the largest
Absolutely.
hat you had in the house was?
No.
Yeah, I love
No,
the
you gotta
fact
get in the
that you're
picture with
okay
me.
with
You
that.
can't take a picture with me, a goober.
Listen, Listen to you back there.
Ready?
Look.
That's what I thought.
Oh my
They're
God.
not gonna have nothing.
You see what Savannah picked out for me?
Yeah, but I don't know.
So,
That's what I'm talking about.
so pull that back just a little bit, because the first time I got distracted watching me and Savannah, and then Worley forgets he's got his mic on. Could you hear y'all's conversation? Oh, that's a big old head. I don't know if we got anything. No, I ain't got nothing.
Ask you what
Look.
the largest
Absolutely.
hat you had in the house was.
No, you got to get in the picture with me.
That's what I thought.
This
Y'all,
one
we
guy
were in.
says that is a big head.
Yeah, that is a big head. And so here we are in
That's
downtown
so good.
Nashville and can't find a hat that'll fit my head. Now, Bryce, I'm going to have to get some help at some point. You'll see on one of our episodes, Worley and I go shopping downtown looking for a hat big enough to fit my head. And I feel like you might be able, with as durable as that hat is, you might be able to give me some tips
Bryce.
after the
Yeah,
podcast.
we'll just measure it and order it. That'd be a hell of a
Bryce.
lot easier.
It's big.
I bet it is. It looks big.
I'm telling
It's
you
a
right
big
It
now.
old
looks like a
head.
5-gallon drum to me.
I'm
It
telling you
might
right
take
now, it's
something,
big.
but we-
What size hat you wear?
And they brought
About
one
an
of
8?
Oh no,
Usually,
it's
Oh,
way
it's
bigger
bigger
than
than
that.
an 8.
it's about a 10 and a half or an 11.
No.
It's a big old noggin. I used to wear the concussion helmets when I played football because they couldn't get one big enough for my head.
Wow.
So,
I
fun
believe I
times.
wouldn't have played football then.
Yeah, well, I thought it would be helpful, just to headbutt people, but I'm still dealing with that now. But we're backstage here at the Opry, and we've got the queen of bluegrass herself,
Man.
Miss Rhonda Vincent.
Hi there.
What a treat.
Thank you,
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Yeah, I mean, we're both just
We're both in awe. Hey, listen, out here at the Opry hanging out, backstage. Thank you for taking just a moment to do this, man.
Darryl Worley
Here we go.
here we go.
is a
Ready.
friend of mine,
Uh-oh.
a true blue friend of mine. Darryl, I'd do anything for you, man. Are you kidding me?
Thank you, brother. I feel
Thanks
the same
for
way about
having
you,
me.
man. Absolutely love it. I do it for him all the time, but not like you did.
Oh, no.
So
And
I'm
I had to follow her.
you had to follow her,
Let
and
me
I
tell
mean,
you what we're
that's-
talking about on the side of the stage. I said, so I went over where all the officials stand, and I said, I don't know about this lineup tonight. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, so whose idea was it for Darryl Worley to follow Rhonda Vincent? And they all laughed, and I went, no, seriously.
I'd like to know.
And then
Yeah.
I said, don't get me wrong. I know why I'm here. I know that y'all that happened, and they said, oh my God, who are we going to put after Rhonda? And they said, call Darryl Worley. And it was just as hard as I thought it would be. So.
Oh.
Well, we are backstage at the Opry, and we are so thankful you joined us.
Yes,
We
thank you for having me.
absolutely are. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing this. Amazing.
Is it the Farm Progress show that they still have?
Yes. Yeah.
So I played that with Rex Allen Sr. Do you
Isn't that
remember Rex
great?
Allen?
Yes.
So here we are, and I'm playing fiddle for him.
Yeah.
I was a teenager, and there was a bass player, and so Rex tells me to give the bass player a cue, a signal, and I take my fiddle bow and I tap him on the leg, or so, and he doesn't
didn't
doesn't
get-
hear.
he
He
didn't
didn't get the
understand
message.
it.
Come to find out, he had a wooden leg.
No way.
He had a,
What
I
are
got
the
in
odds?
trouble. I got in trouble because he said, you didn't tell. I said, yes, I did. I
did
wrapped
that.
him on the leg and said, and tried to tell him.
They had to die laughing.
Oh man.
I mean, that right there. That
You
might
can't
take.
make that
What are
up.
the
No,
odds?
ma'am. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I might just I'll be done for the night because
I'm just
that
gonna
right
walk
there
off at
takes
that
the
point.
cake.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
takes
True
the cake.
story. True story.
Man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like
Hey,
that.
hey, damn it.
I even told him, and it's like, and then he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And man, I got in trouble later for that. And it's like,
funny.
I told him, it's like, oh no, I didn't hear you. Or said I didn't know it. He goes, I got a wooden leg.
You had to think he was kidding.
Tell us one of your favorite memories from the Opry. We'll start
well, that's
simple.
easy. It's the night Jeannie Seeley walked over and said, how would you like to be a
Oh,
member of the
wow.
Grand Ole Opry? And, I had,
Wow.
because I grew up in a musical family,
Right.
Green Top, Missouri, 5 generations of our family. My daughter, Sally, now the 6th generation. She is the first female lead in the United States Navy band Country Current. So she's making history and carrying on the family tradition.
That's
so
amazing.
we grew up listening to the Opry. It was a dream that I pretty much, been on I think I had been on the Opry 215 times that particular night, which was February 28th of 2020. And I I had given up on that. I said, you know what? I'm just glad I get to play the Opry.
Like me.
And so,
that's where I'm
was
at.
it the same way?
I haven't. I'm still not a member.
You're not a member
No,
of the
ma'am.
Opry.
And,
oh
and
my
I bet
goodness!
you I've
We
been
need to
over
work
many
on
times.
that.
But I am. My dad was responsible for this thinking. He said, Darryl, let me ask you a question, because I was poor mouthing about it one night, and I said, I just don't think I'm gonna go back out there and play anymore. And my dad goes, really? He goes, I can remember 25 years ago you saying you'd kill to go out there.
Yeah.
He said, how many people do you think feel that same way today that will never get to do it? I said, okay, Dad.
That's right.
You
yes.
win.
I know
win.
where you're at. He goes,
Yeah.
just shut up and go enjoy it when you get a chance to play, and don't ever worry about that again.
I had somebody tell me the same thing. It's like, I don't think you're going to be a member. He said, if I were you, I wouldn't go back. I said, I'm just thrilled that I get to stand on the stage, that I get. And so that February 28th of 2020, Jeannie Seeley walks out after I sang. And I really, I said, when she said, how would you like to be a member of the Opry? I really thought it was wishful thinking. I thought my ears were tricking me, thinking I wanted her to say that, so I heard that. And I was afraid to respond because I thought this was one of those surreal moments. And so I said, are you serious? And luckily she repeated it. And she goes, what is your answer? And I'm like, yes, 100%. Thank you, Lord.
That's beautiful.
If there was ever a moment when it's God gives you the desires of your heart,
Come on.
that's the
Man, yeah.
I
that's
get it.
proof right
Yeah.
there.
I totally get it. I mean, I'm telling you, it was such a huge deal for us growing up, and such a tradition. Just like you watched volunteer football, you turned the TV down, and you turn the radio on with John Ward wide open.
Yeah.
That same kind of this Opry tradition.
That's neat.
I mean, I get it, and that is a God thing.
It
That's
really
a
is.
spiritual moment. It has to be really
Darryl
special.
teaches me how to pray. See?
Come on.
That's one of the best things about Darryl. He always lifts me up.
I'm ready.
He always lifts me up, and he's taught me better ways to pray and how much you can't ask for a nicer thing for a friend to do for you. It's wonderful, Darryl. I love you, and I'm glad to be here.
I love you too, buddy. And so T and I were talking on our cruise that we just did, and I've got a couple of friends in the business that are struggling with some difficult things, and they call it some sort of anxiety, and then they got other names for this stuff, but it has convinced them that they can't sing.
Wow.
That they're really and I mean, I've seen one of these guys sit backstage and sing better than he's ever sung, then go out on stage and struggle. And I told T, so T, we got talking about this stuff, and I said, I've had that sort of flash through my mind a time or two, and he said, I've had it do more than flash through my mind. He said it scares me sometimes, and I said, that's the devil lying to you. Right. And I said, here's what you do. And that's what he's talking about. Yeah. And it ain't just in singing. It's in life.
Exactly.
And when he starts telling you those lies, it's time to start rebuking. Boy, my mama was good at it. And she'd do it. She didn't make no difference. She's walking down the street in the midtown Savannah. She'd throw down on some running the devil off. I'd be like, mama's having a fit. Yeah. But it works, don't it, T?
Well, heck yeah, it works. And God gave me and you a gift, and he ain't gonna take it back. You know,
sir.
God don't repent on a gift.
No, sir.
You stuck with it.
Yeah,
And so if you talk yourself out of it, that's just the devil doing
That's
it.
it.
And when you and I were talking on that ship, man, I didn't think I was singing any good.
That's what I come up to him. I said you didn't have a. I told Rhonda Vincent the same thing sitting right there tonight. She didn't have one, as far as my ears can tell, she didn't have a moment of anything uncertain on that stage tonight. Yeah. And that's what kind of show you did on that boat. And I was just eat up with it because I love your music. And I mean, I could sit and listen to you. Those people would all done be gone, and I'd still be sitting there listening to you. That's just how much I love your singing and love your soul. I love your songs. And I've always felt that way about you. It's just, and I told him that on the boat. I said it don't get. My mama called it blue-eyed soul. My mama loved Muscle Shoals music. She said it came out of the water. She said everything good comes out of the water, and so it was just a treat. And when I realized that you had doubts a little bit about what you had just done, I said, boy, I got on him. I said, no, sir, no.
And then,
no, sir.
And then it seems like the next show I did was all better.
You better
it was
believe
all gone, and I was out there, and we did an outdoor show, and
Yeah,
I
we're
was
on the
out
deck.
there, and I looked over to my left, and there you were, man, and I was thinking,
It
yes,
was so good,
then
dude.
it-
He came over and sung
and-
to us a
yeah,
couple times.
That
and
made,
Man,
that made,
made his day,
it made
didn't
me
it?
sing better.
I took pictures and sent them to my wife. She goes, I hate you.
One thing I was joking with Worley about, because he's got a 16-year-old daughter, Savannah, and I've got
Wow.
an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. So of course, God made girls connects with us. So because I'm watching Savannah's 16, Ollie is 9, and Millie is 5, and so I've got a few years till I hit that age. But
Oh, yeah.
but I'm watching because I know it's coming.
We were always like this, and I'm sure you know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about. And boy, just all of a sudden, it's like, okay,
She's grown.
whose kid is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
But it's all good.
She
it's,
loves her daddy. I know that.
Yeah, and
She
I
does.
love her. Let me tell you funny. I went in
Okay.
this morning, and I was just she was turned toward the other wall in her bed, and they don't always sleep there at the farmhouse, but she's got a big bedroom over there and 2 different beds she can sleep in. She's sleeping in her bed that's got this big foam pad, and so I say goodbye to her mom, and I slip around to the other bedroom, and I ease in there. She wakes up like her daddy.
Uh-oh.
She does. And this is not the first time, but I leaned over her body.
Yeah.
She's kind of in the fetal position, pointed the other way. I leaned over her body, and I leaned in to kiss her on the cheek to just say goodbye, baby. I thought, well, she may not even wake up. And she sensed my presence, and she came unglued, and she hit me in the jaw, and my teeth clicked. I thought I broke a tooth. I got a big, huge hole in my tongue where I bit my... Oh, yeah. I called my wife when I got almost to like the interstate, and I said, tell Savannah I love her when she wakes up, and tell her that I wasn't mad, that I was just getting out of there before I dripped blood on the covers, because my tongue was just...
just gushing.
She gave me a big old slam upside the head, and I thought, I knew better than that. She wakes up like her dad.
Yeah, just like you. We've seen you wake up like that.
Because I've obviously been singing God Made Girls for 10 years now. I released it when I was 20, and I'm now 30, and I now have a daughter. It's so
Okay.
funny. When I found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh, I'm definitely having a boy. I'm like,
We thought the same thing.
why would God give me a boy when I've literally been singing God Made Girls for, at this point,
great
8
point.
years?
I love that.
And then when I saw that I was having a girl, I was like, God, you're just so funny. And my daughter's now 2.5. But like I said, I wrote it when I was 18. I wrote it with a girl named Nicole Gallion, who's a really big songwriter. She was, at the time, I was 18. She was 28. Then Lori McKenna was 38. And Liz Rose was 48. So we were all 10 years apart within a 40-year gap. And I think that God did that on purpose, because you had 4 different women talking about their experience of what it was like to be a girl in this world. And I had the idea God Made Girls, and and it's so funny. I remember that I write like it was yesterday, because I'm writing with Liz Rose, who's written every Taylor Swift song, and Lori McKenna, who's the legend of all legends when it comes to songwriting, humble and kind, and Nicole Gallion, who's incredible in her own right too. And so I'm riding with these incredible women, and we're just sitting here talking, and it's been like 3 hours, and I'm like, y'all, I've waited my whole life for this right. You guys need to shut up, and we need to write a song. I'm thinking in my head, like, why the hell aren't we writing a song? And I got nervous. I was like, they're about to go to bed. They're about to say that they're tired, and I'm not going to get a song when I've been waiting for this song. But what I didn't realize is I was learning songwriting 101, which was conversation and talking, and getting to know people.
That's right.
And
That
was
time's
one
important.
of the biggest lessons I learned in that write, because
That's awesome.
we ended up just talking about, I was talking about what it was like to be 18 in the business and coming off a show at a really young age. And, Liz Rose was talking about her experience as a woman songwriter, and how it felt to have all these big hits with Taylor. And then you have Lori McKenna talking about her experience. And then God Made Girls was born out of that conversation.
Wow.
And then when we started going through titles, and that right when that title came out, it was instant what the song was going to be. And we wrote that song in an hour.
Wow.
So it was like,
I won't wear you down on this. I just know that you and I have talked quite a bit. We've lived some life, you and I.
Yes, sir.
And I just feel in my spirit, you know, and we talked about this a little bit on the boat, that you're just in a really good place right now.
Oh, I'm in a great place.
I know, man. And I want you to know something. We've both seen each other when it wasn't like that, and I just want you to know that I'm really, really happy to see you there. And
thanks,
your
man.
wife is precious, man. You're
She's
such a blessed
wonderful.
human being.
Boy, oh boy, man.
Whew.
If it hadn't been for her, I'd be dead. She's a good one, man. I think God put us together. I hate that I put her through so many bad changes, but it's all better now.
And that's behind you.
And so it's all good, man. We're very happy. She's my best friend.
Yes, sir.
And she's got my back.
Yes.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to have somebody in this world that you can depend on.
Yes.
And will tell you the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And has got your back.
Yes.
First stories that I'm going to go into because I've heard part of the story, but I don't think many people have. Arguably one of your biggest songs, Have You Forgotten, was iconically debuted here. And tell some of that story. Tell about how it kind of came out and took the radio by storm.
The part about the Opry that's very unique is that, and I won't go too hard on my old manager, but Pete Fisher called us and said, you know, will Darryl come out and do this Friday night at the Opry? We got out there, and I told Ted, my manager, I said, man, I got this new song. And I said, and I think it's really powerful. And I had been playing it all night long because we'd just written it like 2 days before.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to play this song to the band, and we're going to play it in the dressing room for Pete Fisher, who ran the Grand Ole Opry. He really didn't want me to do it. Well, I played it for the guys, and they're like, "Oh, there ain't nothing to that." We ran it a couple times in the dressing room. They all went, "We got it." And so Ted kept on, and I finally said, "Hey," I said, "I'm not talking about this anymore." I said, "If you are like that hell bent on me not doing it, then you can." You can go because we're doing it.
Yeah.
And he might remember that very differently, but I that's how I remember it. And I just said, we're doing the song. Of course, the rhyming is a whole different animal with emotion and the spirit in that place. It is, man, it hangs on you.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we go out there that night, and I think we played something else, and then I kind of did a little introduction of Have You Forgotten, and I said, this is really brand new right off the press, and so, if we don't seem real sure in the middle of this or something, you guys just bear with us. It's the lyric and the message of this song that I think's appropriate for tonight because it was a special weekend for the veterans, and the house was full.
How perfect is that?
And the whole, first 10 rows on each side were veterans, and they were still a lot of World War II veterans, Korean veterans, Vietnam veterans. I mean, it was. So we started playing that song.
Mm-hmm.
I've got chill bumps right now that go all the way to the bone. Look, my hair's standing up.
Yeah, look. I mean, it really is.
Oh,
and doesn't get any better.
So
than that.
these old guys, right off the bat, we're barely into the second line, and they start coming up with these walkers in front of them and coming up out of their seats. And I mean, they're taking their hats off and saluting, and I just, I mean, I forgot words.
I bet
it was. I had tears on my face. We came off the stage, and it was just complete and total chaos in that building, and people hollering and screaming and saluting us, and I was like, "Oh my God, what was that?" And Pete Fisher just runs me down and goes, "Will you come back tomorrow night and play that on the TV portion?" Yeah. And I went, I'd never been asked to do the Opry twice in one weekend. I went, hell yeah,
I'll be back.
And so I said, what do you think about that, Ted? And he's like, wow. And so we came back the next night, and we were just hoping for a repeat, but it was 10 times more organic. It was 10 times. We were more relaxed. It was 10 times more chaotic. It was like the night before on steroids.
So the word started to get out at that point. Even just backstage behind the scenes, the band felt it. People are talking about it. It's just, you feel that energy, that buzz.
The next night, people at the Opry that weren't even performing the night before were saying stuff about, we can't wait to hear that new song. And I'm going, nobody ever said anything like that to me out there, you know. And I thought, we can't wait to learn the new song. What I was going to say is, on the way home that day, it had already turned into like a parade route. There was red, white, and blue. There was banners. There was it's not the event's not even over yet.
Right.
We don't even know. I hadn't heard anything about the Pentagon. I heard that on the radio driving home.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, people are already out
They're
sticking
ready.
flags in the ground, and I'm driving and I'm going, look at this.
Yeah.
And then I got this horrible sinking feeling. It had to come to this for us to fly the red, white, and blue. What in the world? And you know, an occasional house along that route always had the flag flying. Of course, that was still there, but now you got all this other stuff. So I'll leave it at that for now. I don't know how much of this I'll be able to recall, because I won't be able to probably do the whole song, but. You can't unsee what I saw. You can't get back what I lost. Left home a kid, I came back a fully grown man. I lost both of my legs and 5 of my friends. Nothing makes sense. I never thought I'd be staring down the barrel of my own gun. Oh Lord, can I still go to heaven? I got nowhere else left to run. You can't have back who I was. I'm still the one that you love. I can't expect you to live with a man you don't know. So if you have to go, fight you I won't. Hate you, I don't. I never thought I'd be staring down the barrel of my own gun. Oh Lord, can I still go to heaven after all of the things that I've done? I've lost a wife and 5 brothers, my kids, and the man that I was. I thought that I'd left the front lines, but the fight for my life rages on. We've lost 21 soldiers in only a day, and that's the unthinkable truth. So I'll lay down my gun, I'll soldier on, and I will not be 22. Yeah, I'll lay down my gun, I'll soldier on, and I will not be 22. I guess I remembered more of it than I thought I would.
you said earlier, and I if I'd had a notepad out, I'd have taken the note, but it stuck with me because you carry the burden that a lot of those families do.
It's heavy.
And it's hard because I know for you, there's the element of, so much of your success has come from that song. But I hope that people see that are watching this and seeing the tears you're fighting through and the emotions that success has come with a price.
Yeah, I mean,
because you feel it.
If you don't want to do the part that comes after the big hoorah, then don't put it out there, because I see that, I believe with all of my heart and soul that was a gift from God to us. But it wasn't just to give Darryl Worley some big award or to give him some big blessing. It was a lot more down the work road that goes with the success of this song than what I knew anything about.
Yeah.
And so I'm not complaining by any means, but all that has been heaped on my shoulders over these years. And guess what? I'm happy to carry it. But it has aged me. It's taken its toll on me. Mm-hmm. You can't care about people and not be affected by that.
Yeah.
It takes its toll.
This has been, for a good old rule, boy. I needed this, guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys could come, man.
Yeah.
This is a very unique year. And of course, then, the episode with Trump in Pennsylvania, and it's just all this stuff that happens has a lot to do with how this thing feels.
Right.
And this one's a little different.
It really is.
And we're here in Milwaukee to nominate the next president of the United States.
Thank you.
And, what happened last weekend is just such a serious thing. He came out last night in the convention hall.
Yeah.
It was one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. This is my 9th Republican convention. And it's one of the most powerful things I have seen at a Republican convention. You could see the emotion. You could see how strong he was and determined.
The shot of the girl that brought you a fresh glass of water up on stage.
Oh, yeah.
I had her bring that up because she was singing every song. She couldn't have been 25.
My Marie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She sang cool. Like 3 songs in a row, and I'm like, I've got to run this water up there to him. I can tell he's thirsty. I'm gonna let her do it. But that's what's so neat is it's multi-generational.
Oh yeah.
And you're doing a great job engaging with that. But
yeah,
make America great again. I love that. It's got a hook.
It's got a hook. Sounds like a new song.
Heck yeah.
Kind of what started this conversation was for probably 4 or 5 years now, I've heard stories from you, from the Win Varbles of the world and all those guys, Bryce Long, that told so many great Darryl Worley stories. And after fact checking, we found out that most of them were true. Is Elvis still alive?
So Elvis is alive in the hearts and minds of fans around the world.
Amen.
Or Elvis is laying out by the pool. The truth is, this is kind of a gross answer, but hopefully if you can cut it out if you don't like it. So when I was working at the hospital, and a doctor came in and said, "Are you the young man who's going to Graceland?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And he said, "I have always wanted to tell somebody this. If Elvis wasn't dead before I did his autopsy, he was after." So this was the guy who had done Elvis's autopsy. And so I said, so you're telling me he is absolutely deceased? And he said, "Son, there is no question." So that through the years I worked there, whenever somebody would
that is huge.
Whenever
on my podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say Darryl just said,
it's
hey,
broken.
Hey,
you just got the
make
answer.
sure the cameras are
rolling.
rolling.
You need to use that. I'm sorry,
but so that's the answer. When I lived in Memphis for many years, from the time I was in college all the way through my young adulthood, I was a member of First Assembly of God, Memphis. That's the same church that Elvis Presley was a member of.
I know. I've been to that church.
Okay, so a lot of my buddies, their mothers and fathers sang in the choir and were in the youth group with Elvis.
Oh, how cool is that?
I heard lots of stories. Well, people told me Dixie Emmons was the church secretary there, and everybody said, don't ask Dixie about it because she doesn't like to talk about it, but she used to date Elvis. And this is before I ever even dreamed of working there. I was a college and career kid, so I was still in college. And so Miss Dixie asked me one time, she said, Scott, will you do, because I was an artist, she said, will you do this poster? Our pastor is leaving, Pastor Hamill's leaving. Will you do this poster for me for his going away? And so I said, Dixie, I will, if you'll do me a favor, will you tell me about when you dated Elvis? And she
went there.
And so she said, deal. And so, and this is long before I ever worked at Graceland. And so we sat there in the church office, and she told me her story of how she and Elvis met in high school at church, and how they started dating, and her parents weren't too keen on the idea, but it's but anyway, so I think Elvis was a very complicated individual, obviously.
All musicians are, aren't they?
Hello?
DW. I tell you, I hate to kill the cool moment, but if you look over Darryl's shoulder here, I think Sam might be getting one of the coolest podcast shots.
That's very scary.
He's got the drone outside the window, and so
how high are you, Sam?
So that's going to be a cool moment. I'm telling you. That's
Sam is
how
on
cool
the
is
up and
it?
up.
There's a lot of news breaking here. We got things out there, and lots of things
Absolutely. But this is funny. I don't guess you usually do this during a podcast.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Kimberly.
Hello.
I am right in the middle of a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
no,
you want to say
you're
hi
on
and
it
talk
now.
to us?
Say hello, because I got you right in the microphone.
No, dear wet. Hello.
We missed you. We'll see you soon.
Okie dokie. See you soon. Love you.
Hey, is everything okay?
Everything's good.
So I can call you when we knock this part out?
Please do.
I sure will. All right, baby.
I just want to know what time you play. So I love you. Bye.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That's funny.
That's awesome.
I thought of a tiny story I could probably tell, but you probably know this one. But we were in the studio. You weren't there, but it was a bunch of us session guys, and we were doing a session for this publishing company called Seagale, and the song plugger was Liz O'Sullivan. You remember her?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And she came in and she was hanging out with all the guys, session players, and she was just making conversation. She had just broken up with Sean Camp,
right,
famous songwriter here in town, and she said, "Hey, has anybody seen Sean lately? He's gained a little weight." And about that time, Randy's cell phone. She said, "Oh, please don't say anything." About that time, Randy's cell phone rang, and he said, "Hello, Sean Camp is fat." Stop it. So we go in there to do the first song, and Randy's, being the drummer, is counting it off. He says, 1, 2, Sean is fat. And Liz just left. She just had to leave. She couldn't take it.
Has anybody seen Sean lately? He's gained some weight.
That's funny.
Who would even say that? But she should have known better.
Oh, she should have known. Yeah.
She should have really known better. Well, down there next to you is Mr. Sean Camp.
I do have a couple of Grammys though.
Oh, I knew it. Yeah.
But one's a bluegrass Grammy.
Right.
Tell us about it.
Well, I'm in this band called the Earls of Leicester.
I knew that.
Bunch of high-level pickers, and I'm imitating old Lester Flatt. I talk like old Les. I say stuff like, "Oh, thank you so much, friends and neighbors. It's a real pleasure to be here and performing for you today. I hope y'all appreciate the program. We're going to get right into it now. Here's one called whatever I'm going to say. I don't know. That's kind of
so good."
Well,
I do some voices myself, I do quite a few actually, but
really,
Billy Bob Thornton said my best one. I'll give you a little taste of it. Now, sometimes it takes me a few minutes to get in character on this one right here, but I've been up there at the nervous hospital. I do that one.
It's pretty good.
I sent one to
That's my hometown, That's where
I know that.
Sling Blade was filmed in Benton, Arkansas, which is where my mother's folks lived. And I moved there in 9th grade, and we lived there, in that vicinity until I graduated and moved to Nashville.
Is there a nervous hospital up there in Benton?
My grandma used to work at the nervous hospital, actually.
I've been up there.
She sure did.
You're not done that to my little brother. He might have had fun sometime.
I've heard it said that way sometimes.
Jay-Z. Yeah, I think Chris is from Jay-Z over there.
Yeah. You'll have to edit this out, but when Tiny got the nut knots.
Oh,
That's what he called it.
yeah.
I'll never forget. He said,
what he called
"Don't you
me."
say a word." And him and Swine was outside the door talking. It's my session. He says, Tiny comes in, Swine didn't come in. I thought, that's odd. He puts the cassette in, starts playing the first song. And they let it play, and it plays down to the end. As soon as it goes off, Swine comes running in the door and goes, y'all heard? Tiny's got the nut knots. And he goes, he went outside. He got so frustrated, but it was like he
knew
he was going to go in
He
there
had
and tell
called me that morning before the session, and he was telling me about it. I said, man, I think you ought to go to the doctor. I said, what's going on? He said, well, one of them's about the size of a baseball. Or no, he said one of them's the size of a peanut, and the other one's a little bitty old thing. Oh, he was an idiot. Anyway, that'll get edited out.
I think we have a guest.
That's those ghosts.
That's those ghosts.
It's the ghost of RCA Studios.
Look at this. Look who just.
Oh.
We got to find a spot on the couch for this character.
Yes, we do.
What's
How about
happening?
that? I told him to come.
No couch. I came uninvited. I thought T wanted to arm wrestle.
Well, there's always time for arm wrestling.
Come on over here and let me see how many inches you've grown.
Good. I ain't seen you in about
Papa's knee.
since Santa Claus didn't have no hair under
Let's
his
see
arm.
what we can hide.
Come on through
What
there.
you up to, Hoss?
Come on over here, brother.
Y'all just BSing?
Yeah,
We're just
That's all
BSing.
there is to
We
it,
just got
man.
through talking about Sounds Like Life.
Think your name's
Mentioned your name.
Your name's popped up
How
a
you
couple
doing,
times.
my friend?
I ain't worth even kicking dust up.
Travis McLeese.
How you do, sir? Phil, good to see you.
Phil, I'm gonna put this in your pocket right here.
What is that?
That's
Scoot on over here, buddy. How you doing?
we was in New York together.
We had fun, didn't we?
I was a nervous wreck. I was carrying my gun, and people was telling me, "Man, they'll lock you up here." And then someone mentioned him, and I thought I went right to the bus, took that son of a gun
I
out, and
told
put
him.
it,
I said,
put it
"Moose."
in my bunk.
Yeah.
I
was
said,
out
Moose
there.
went to jail for this up here.
Well, at least you weren't arrested and you're the only white guy in the cell. And
Yeah.
Your name is James Brown.
Yes.
They said,
Yeah.
Brown,
Yeah.
James Brown.
Oh,
He
lady.
said one guy said, yeah, you James Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, you James Brown.
Oh, that
Oh,
cracks me
mercy.
up. Talk about the definition of freaking irony. This Moose in a cell with 15 other black men, and he's named James Brown.
Yeah.
Mercy.
Oh,
You can't make that up.
No.
He's got a big yawn going over. You still got to play tonight,
Dude,
man.
I've been working all day.
You have been. It's been a long day,
Oh, I
and
can't.
it's all good. It's all good. You
It's
want to
good
introduce
stuff.
your friends to
Yes,
us?
sir. So this is the Bump Eye, we call them.
Bump Eye.
The Bump Eye brothers. So they had Bumpus Harley Davidson here in Murfreesboro, Bumpus Harley Davidson in Jackson, Bumpus Harley Davidson over in Memphis. And
Okay.
and in the early running, we were doing these fundraisers at each one.
Oh, cool.
But anyway, that's Tom over there. I've known him for how many years?
A bunch of them.
How long we been doing that?
2008, we decided was the
That was our first hit makers.
the first Hitmakers
event.
and I think we met a bit before that.
That's right.
Country Beach
We met
Party
at
downtown.
Country Beach Party.
one
Exactly.
time we got a
No,
chance.
I knew
That
that.
was in 03.
I was waiting to tell that
02. No, it was 02 or 01. Yeah, I think so. 02, I think.
because our beach party downtown in Nashville was to raise money for cystic fibrosis, and he has a child who has that. So that's how I got to know Scott, and they would come every year religiously, and it was quite the event. But that's how we got to know each other, and so early on with Tennessee River Run and all these guys were our presenting sponsor, got involved in a big way. Then we came up with the idea to do the rounds, riders rounds at their businesses, and like we are here tonight at Bumpus Harley Davidson in Murfreesboro. We're just all family. I mean,
It's
it's
neat,
been so much fun. It's been like a a labor of love, of course. It ain't easy. There's a lot of work that goes into the things that we've done together, but
we found if you can do the things that you enjoy doing and make something good come of it and have some fun with it, you know, we've been in business for 38 years coming back this summer, and that's been kind of our thing. If we wasn't working in a Harley store, we'd probably be hanging out in a Harley store. And the same thing comes with music,
absolutely,
and all that stuff too. So whenever you can combine those passions in life, it's a great thing.
You know, I saw this morning on Facebook,
Cletus?
your buddy Cletus T. Judd. I got to pull this up so we can watch it as a group here. Mike will do all his production magic and let all the fans watch this. If you don't follow Cletus T. Judd, go do it. He's on social media. Kimberly shared this. That's how it came on my page.
But he's
you know, they say nothing in life is perfect.
Nothing in
no
life is
one
perfect.
individual is perfect. No one thing is perfect. We are all created with flaws. And I used to agree with that 100%. That is until about 2 Mondays ago when I saw Darryl Worley's beard.
What an idiot.
Sheer perfection. I ain't never saw a beard on a man like Darryl Worley's got. I mean, look at mine. This is a little bit longer here. Got some hair shooting back up that way. I'm at the barbershop now. Fix to go here and get it trimmed up. And I'm going to ask for the Darryl Worley special. Is what I'm going to do. Because I ain't going to lie to you. We was sitting there at the Eddie Montgomery golf benefit. John Michael and everybody was there. And I glanced over and they was talking about Darryl's beard. And I happened to glance over and flawless. Not one gray hair was pointed toward right field. Nothing. It was all going in the right direction. It all laid smoothly where it was supposed to lay.
My beard.
And I became envious. And I asked him, and he would not disclose his secrets,
Heck no.
other than to look at me and say, son, you can't argue with perfection. And I had to agree with him. I had to agree with him. He's a good man, a great friend, known him for years, great singer, great songs. But his beard tops it all. Google you a picture of Darryl Worley. Send him a message. Let him know you love his beard today. And don't say nothing about mine. I love you, DW, and your beard. We'll see.
Oh,
It doesn't get much better than that. I can't wait to have him
trip.
on the podcast.
if we ain't done anything else today, we've done some good laughing, man. Oh boy.
Yes, sir.
Well, we thank you guys again for spending some time with us. It's been I've heard about all of you from different stories of Darryl, so to get to take a little bit of a deeper dive into that and just that's what it's all about. The show's called Sounds Like Life, and you guys are a big part of his life, and I know that was part of the reason we wanted to do this today. And we just thank you guys, and we thank everybody who's watching. We thank you guys because we're having some fun with this, I think.
He's trying to shut us down. I'm
Well,
ready. I can't go home. She's still awake.
Listen, just ignore him.
Anybody that's got something ugly to say about Darryl, either they don't say it around me or they're not around. So I don't ever hear anything except for people who having you around has been a blessing to them. So.
You're doing great work. You're a great talent, great friend. You're proud to do this, and I guess it's time to go have a little fun.
That's a great
and,
note to
yeah,
wrap
go make
on
some
just
new
right
friends
there,
right
guys. Thank
Thank
y'all.
you much.
y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting
This
us
is
be
awesome.
with you.
That's good.
He cut your drum roll off there a little bit.
Shut me down. before
Shut
he
you
did.
down quick.
I couldn't even get a rim shot.
There, it's coming back. He's going to show up next time, and we're going to have him a full pedal kick and all kinds of stuff underneath here. So,
got a pretty good one now.
Well, man, I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as we are, because we're having a blast. Well, Darryl, how do you want to close us this week?
I'll tell you, let's go back to the way we were going to do it on the other one, and I
Okay.
won't mess it up this time.
No, we're good. That's what happens. See, you know, some folks probably playing.
Did you hear that
and
kick drum?
I heard that. Good little thump.
I love that. I'm in control.
As you can tell, we're having too much fun. But episode 2 is a wrap.
Yeah.
So how do you want to leave your fans?
Is it a wrap?
I think it's a wrap.
How do I want to leave my fans? Healthy and happy, and just saying thank you for joining us, going through these experiences, seeing the cool stuff that we get to film for you guys and share with you guys.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. I guess we'll.
Hey,
see
how did you
next
get to say that?
Huh?
Am I not supposed to say that?
I was teeing it up, so that's a wrap.
Oh,
I see how I was volleying that up for you.
I'm not sure about that. Is it a wrap? The music says it is. I don't know where y'all got this music, but I like it.
Sounds Like Life with Darryl Worley is a Bluespire music production. Hosted by Darryl Worley and Travis McLeese. Produced and edited by Mike Murphy and Sam Hudson. Set design by Sam Hudson. Theme song Sounds Like Life to Me by Darryl Worley. Executive producers Paul Perry, Julian Drennan, and Travis McLeese.